I am a Hindu American who is extremely concerned not only for the future of New York City under a potential Mamdani mayorship, but also for the future of this country. Mr. Mamdani is no ordinary candidate. He has been nurtured and groomed by radicals like Linda Sarsour, who defend Sharia law and praises jihadists. He is associated with Imam Siraj Wahhaj, an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, who has called homosexuality a disease. Mr. Mamdani's own father defends violent extremists by claiming that Islamic terrorism is rooted in Western imperialism. Here are my questions for Mr. Mamdani and his supporters like Linda Sarsour, who have so vehemently questioned Israel. Can you educate us among the 57 Islamic nations? Does even one country have constitutional secularism and democracy? If Hamas gains power, would non-Muslims not face the same fate as the Hindus in Bangladesh and Pakistan, given Hamas's own stated goal of destroying the Jewish people? To those who cry Islamophobia, have you considered that an estimated 1 million white British girls have reportedly been victimized by Islamic grooming gangs, and the mayor of London has been accused of deliberately downplaying these rampant activities? Is it Islamophobia to point out Mr. Mandani's anti-gay statements or his honesty about being photographed with a Uganda minister who enacted a death penalty for homosexuals? Is it Islamophobia to say that Muslims in New York and around the world celebrated 9/11 attacks while the so-called moderate Muslims failed to condemn these actions with the severity such an atrocious act warrants? Is it Islamophobia to express that concern that if given the opportunity, he and his supporters would impose azan, halal, sharia, and even blasphemy laws, thereby suppressing America's First Amendment right to free speech? Is it Islamophobia to be concerned that his plan is not just to defund the police, but fill its rankers with his supporters and radically change the face of the police force? You characterize Israel's actions as genocide. Have you considered that in nearly every nation where Muslims are the majority, genocide has been committed against minorities? Whether Christians in Nigeria, Hindus in Bangladesh and Pakistan, Druze in Syria, Yazidis in Iraq, and even in the Indian state of Kashmir. Shamelessly, Mr. Mamdani, who was born in the Islamic nation of Uganda, and he and himself and his family was driven away as part of ethnic cleansing of Asians by an Islamic dictator, but lacks the courage to acknowledge this. You talk about Western imperialism, but conveniently ignore the over 800 years of Islamic imperialism that brought genocide, economic exploitation, and efforts to erase the indigenous cultures of Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains in South Asia, a mission that continues to this day as Ghazwa Hind. Israel and India are the only Islamic nations standing in your dream of a pan-Islamic caliphate stretching from Morocco to Indonesia. I urge Hindu Americans in New York City to take serious note of Mr. Mamdani's Hindu phobia and the threat his membership would pose to the city. In 2020, he led a mob chanting, "Hindus are bastards," insulting the revered deity of Lord Ram, who is worshipped by over 1 billion Hindus worldwide. To this day, he has not apologized despite attempts by a few community activists to reach out to him. As a New York's last state lawmaker, he introduced bills that target Hindu Americans and accused a fellow Hindu American lawmaker, Jennifer Rajkumar, of being supported by Hindu fascists. He also made blatantly false claims, such as stating there are no Muslims in the Indian state of Gujarat, his father's ancestors' home state. In reality, Muslims constitute 10% of Gujarat's state population, 5.9 million according to the 2011 census, and their population has been rapidly growing across India since its independence. This state alone has Muslims rather than the entire US Muslim population. Meanwhile, he remains conveniently silent on the real ethnic cleansing of 500,000 Hindus from Kashmir in 1989 by Islamists who were driven out using murder and rape as weapons. Even after 36 years, these Hindus are living as refugees in their own country, unable to return home. While he frames the situation in Palestine as a genocide, He conveniently ignores the 1971 Bangladesh genocide, where 2 to 3 million Hindus were killed and 200,000 to 400,000 Hindu women were raped, as cited in the US Congressional Resolution 1430. He fails to acknowledge that in just 75 years, Islamists have reduced the Hindu population of Bangladesh from 22% to 8%, and in Pakistan from 15 to 1%. While he talks about Palestinian children, he ignores the fact that in every year in Pakistan, approximately 1,000 young Hindu girls are snatched from their parents at puberty only to be gang raped and forcibly married to older men or criminals. He fails to acknowledge the genocide in his own nation of birth, Uganda, where the Islamic dictator Idi Amin ousted all Indians, including his own family, within 90 days. My message to Silva, if you are listening, for heaven's sake, please drop out of the race and give us a chance to defeat Mamdani. For the sake of this city, for the sake of the people who live here, for the sake of city you love, and for the sake of our entire nation. The fact that a candidate feels the need to publicly declare that the Jewish and Hindu communities will be safe under his leadership is in itself extremely troubling. I pray that this beloved city will find the wisdom to stop this radical who uses victimhood and false promises to advance an agenda that will completely destroy the character of our city. Thank you.